Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in-depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling. I'm your host, the Mad Dragon Josh, and joining me is the lovely Storm is Coming Dawn. Tonight we're covering Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right. And this episode of Friday Night SmackDown is being brought to us from the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina.
Bless you.
Yeah. And we get the show started with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, making his way to the ring. Full intro and everything.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Okay.
And he pops into the ring and he says, "So, Greenville, South Carolina, what do you want to talk about?" And I'm sitting there thinking, man, we came to watch some wrestling. You're the one who came out here to talk. What you want to talk about? And he starts to try and address like Drew McIntyre in Saturday night's main event, but the crowd is not that into it. Like they just start chanting Cody Rhodes, like interrupting his entire flow.
Yeah.
But then once they calm down a bit, he gets back to it and he says, as far as Drew McIntyre and him, he's done with it. He says that Drew is jacked and he is impressive, but he's also the most self-sabotaging pro wrestler in the history of the business.
Yeah, that's what it is. Self-sabotage. That's what it is. Nailed it.
Yep. And so he says if South Carolina's cool with it, he's going to come out there and sit with them and just watch Friday Night SmackDown like a fan, and then they'll chat in between matches to decide who's next in line for the WWE Championship. And then, before Cody Rhodes can take his seat and start carousing with the fans, Aleister Black comes out, and he says, "Well, if you're moving out, then I'm moving in." And he says ever since he set Damian Priest on fire, he's been ready for something new. And the crowd boos him.
He's a wizard.
He is. And he gets into the ring and he says, "See, Cody, I have this chip on my shoulder. It's about the size of the WWE Undisputed World title." And Cody undoes the top button on his shirt and looks like he's about to step to Aleister when Zelina gets in the way and says, "Too bad that your nightmare begins now." And then she just straight slaps Cody in the face. And Nick Aldis, before any retaliation can occur, comes out and he says, "Oh, it looks like tensions are running high and some people can't keep their hands to themselves. So, Greenville, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And I'm sitting there thinking, I have no idea what you're thinking. What are you thinking? And he says, "Black, if it's a fight you're looking for, you and Cody could fight in the main event tonight." So that is the main event match setting itself up right at the beginning.
Boop.
And after that segment, we are taken backstage where we see Ilya Dragunov, and then seemingly out of nowhere, no, not an RKO, but Tama Tonga shows up, breathing all heavy, and staring at Ilya Dragunov, who's about to make his way to the ring. So clearly, at some point in the near future, hopefully, we will have Tama Tonga going against Ilya Dragunov for the U.S. title.
That'd be nice.
We believed going into this that tonight might be that night, but it was not to be so.
No.
For you see, Ilya Dragunov comes out and he picks up the mic, and we're like, come on, Ilya. You don't have to chit-chat every time. But he kept it short. He said, For the legacy of the U.S. Open Challenge, who will step up? Because tonight, my dear friends and enemies, pain shall entertain you. Trim that down to just pain shall entertain. Like there's even kind of a rhyme scheme to that. The
Yeah,
U on the end just throws it off, Ilya. Um,
agreed.
but we're like, is it going to be Tama Tonga?
No.
Instead, Tommaso Ciampa comes out and he's fully dressed to compete, and by that I mean he's wearing his little tiny, wrestling pants and no shirt, and he comes out talking about how you keep blocking me and you called me a jackass and I'm a two-time NXT champ, etc., etc. And Ilya Dragunov is like, you know what? You're right. Listen to me. I accept the challenge for my US championship from him. And he points at Johnny Gargano. And here was our
Disappointment
process.
again.
Here was the thought process going into this. I was like, "Oh, is it going to be Tama Tonga?" And then it was Ciampa, and I was like, "Ugh, that's fine, I guess." I was just hoping for Tama Tonga, and then we talked ourselves up a bit. We were like, "Yeah, but Ciampa could still put on a really good match." So we finally settled on that, and then they were like, "But Gargano, though," and we were like, "Ugh." So that bait and switch disappointment leads into our first match of the night, which is Ilya Dragunov versus Johnny Gargano for the WWE United States
Oh
Championship.
my god, you
And
broke me.
as I have dominated the full intro and the first promo, what were your thoughts on this match?
Um, Surprisingly better than I thought it was gonna be, honestly. And it's because maybe they did that on purpose. Like we saw Tamatonga, and we are like, uh-oh, is tonight the night? And he's all, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm like, yeah, right? But then,
And then he's
you
like,
know,
yeah, 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 psych.
right, and then Tommaso Ciampa comes out, and I'm like, no, hold on now. My man goes hard on the paint. Like, I would not mind a match between Tommaso Ciampa and Dragunov. So I'm getting hyped for that. And then Dragunov, being the troll that he is, the neck tattooed troll that he is, that's the lightest neck tattoo I've ever seen, by the way. It almost looks like a hemp tattoo. It's so light. Like, I wonder if it's gonna
Um,
get it darkened. I don't know, but like,
I don't
is it
know.
done? Is it? Because I mean, it looks like it's all completely healed, but it looks pretty light. You guys, maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. Skinny way.
Skinty way.
Yeah, Dragunov trolls us all, and he's like, "No, I want to fight Johnny Gargano."
I mean, is that how these work? Like just anybody who's nearby, like could he have pointed at Candice LeRae and been like, I accept it with her?
That would have been
Or like
hilarious.
I accept that little dude right there and it's the ref. Like I don't you have to like accept the open challenge? Like
Or I
I
mean,
didn't think
I
Ilya could
saw it.
just be like, cool story, but that guy though. Like I don't
Now, yeah, and
but
I'm
whatever.
hey, but maybe Johnny could have said no. Uh, Maybe. I don't know how that would have worked, but long story short, I was not really looking forward to this match, just in case you guys didn't know. However, this actually turned out to be a pretty good match. A nice, solid opener for SmackDown. Johnny Gargano did not bore me to death. He did not. There were some spots, but for the most part, once Dragunov got back into the driver's seat, the match really picked up, especially towards the middle and end of the match, middle and ending segments of the match. Um, so yeah, it turned out to be much better than I thought it was gonna be.
I can dig it. I feel kind of the same way almost exclusively because like Gargano did a couple of things that he's known for. He did the middle rope like springboard spear and like
It
a
did look
couple
good.
of DDTs. Yeah, they looked fine. But the real highlight was just watching Dragunov body Gargano. That was
Yeah.
what was giving me life because he hit him with some really good slams. He has this like pump handle slam suplex thing that he does that's really good. And the way he just lifted up Johnny like it was nothing, like he's
Oh
just
man, yeah,
curling this dude and he doesn't mean anything was fantastic. And
yeah.
he's got this like belly to back suplex startup, but then he turns into it to sort of turn it into like a waist slam or an uranagi almost that just spikes him into the ground. I was like, oh, these are the best. These moves are the best. And then I really liked the way he ended up going for his finish this evening. He gets Johnny, who is out on the ring apron, and he basically superplexes him up over the ring apron and then rolls through and then hits his H bomb like while Johnny hasn't even recovered from the superplex. And that's it. That was it. Dragunov
Yeah,
just deleted Gargano. I think the only thing he could have done that would have given me more hype would have been that nice like release power bomb that he usually does. But I have a suspicion as to why maybe he didn't do that, and that comes from later in the evening. Um, but this was great. Like the superplex straight into the H bomb for a very dominant win for Dragunov was fantastic.
agreed.
I will say there was one or two spots that Gargano got that looked pretty vicious. Like he delivered a super kick to like the back of Ilya's head at one point while Ilya was kneeling facing away. And I'm always a little leery of moves done to the back of a facing away wrestler because they don't have an opportunity to really roll with it like at all. Like because they don't
Yeah,
know when
yeah,
exactly it's coming. Like maybe they can kind of anticipate it, but they can't see it, and so they can't really adjust. So it really did look like Dragunov just got the shit kicked out of the back of his head.
yeah,
But fortunately, based on the way the match finished, it looks like Dragunov is fine. So that's good. And it
yeah.
looked cool. It was a good looking vicious kick. So yeah, all told, a much better match than I anticipated it would be after we got like double deflated because first it wasn't Tamatonga, and then we were like, oh, okay, well Tommaso's not so bad, and then they were like, but Gargano though, oh come on, and it was okay. It was okay exclusively
Yeah,
because I liked watching Dragunov body Gargano. That shit was
true, true.
awesome.
Yeah, true. It was nice. It was nice
Yep.
watching him fly and then not fly.
So a very strong opening match to start with. Like they know where their butter is, or their bread is buttered, I should say.
Yeah,
Because Ilya Dragunov is looking good, and what they've been doing since Sami Zayn with that U.S. title is kind of like been hitting right with SmackDown. So this was a good
yeah,
way to start the night. Um, After that match, we are taken to the back, theoretically to Nick Aldis's office, where we see him talking to the referee. And then Sami Zayn busts into the door and he says, you know, I know I'm not medically cleared, but after what happened last week with the MFTs and the numbers game, uh, you know, I'm not saying I want to get physically involved, but I would like to offset this numbers game and accompany Ray Phoenix to the ring. And Nick is like, look, I know it's killing you to be on the sidelines and you want to be there for your friends and go after the MFTs, but you're not medically cleared. So if you are at ringside, that means you become a liability for me. So Nick says to him, I just need you to focus on getting healthy. And with all due respect, Sammy, he's not asking. And Sammy's like, okay, but I'm not going to stand by and watch for much longer. And I'm thinking, only in the wrestling world of the kayfabe do you get to tell your boss that his, like, basically command of how you behave as an employee. You can just be like, well, I'm not going to stand by and do that much longer. Like, you would just be fired anywhere else. It's like, yeah,
uh,
FAFO on that one.
yeah.
Um, And then after that, our Truth walks into the office and he notices the tumbler for the last time is now tournament. And Truth says he wants in the tournament. And he says he's here to put his balls into Nick's hand. And he's got two little plastic balls with his name, I guess, on it. I guess one for our Truth and one for Ron Killings. Um, and it was just to make the joke about putting balls in Nick's hand. And
You sound
Nick
so.
says, Nick tells him, Truth, this is unnecessary. You're already in the tumbler. You're in the mix. You're in the tournament. And he says, well, that's fine. He didn't want his balls touching Nick's balls anyway. And so he takes his little plastic balls back and storms out of the office. And Nick Aldis is like, I don't know what just happened here. And it was hilarious. Oh, it's so rare that Nick Aldis looks like he's just at a loss for
So
words, but of
confused.
course, our truth managed to pull it off. It was good. It was
Yeah.
good to watch Nick Aldis like, what just happened to me? What was I just a party to?
Yeah. What just took place?
But then after that, they kind of give us a recap of the events at Saturday night's main event, where Jade Cargill became the new WWE Women's Champion, having defeated Tiffany Stratton. And then following that, I'm guessing, what was it? In the back, DIY is sulking
Yes.
after the events,
Uh-huh.
and Fraxium appears out of nowhere, as they often do. And Frazier pokes fun at Ciampa for, not one, but two missed opportunities at the U.S. Open Challenge. And I think Axiom was like, yeah, even Johnny stole your opportunity. Guess that's what happens when you're a jackass. And Tommaso was just infuriated. Um, Following that, we have a storm coming, and Jade
Thank you.
Cargill hits her entrance,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd's losing it. And Jade looks phenomenal, as she often does. And she makes her way to the ring, and she grabs a mic, and she kept this surprisingly short and sweet. She basically picks up the mic and says, y'all saw what happened to Tiffany. And that goes for every woman in that locker room. Make no mistakes about it. I'm that bitch. And then she just drops the mic and hits the bricks. But before she's able to get all the way to the back, Charlotte Flair's music cues up, and she makes her entrance with Alexa Bliss. And Charlotte and Jade have a bit of a stare down. And
And then they start shit talking each other.
Charlotte initially starts to, continue because she's got a match with Nia Jax. That's what she's out here for.
Yeah.
But she turns and looks over her shoulder and still sees Jade there. And she takes her robe off and looks like she's about to turn and go address Jade when Alexa's like, no, 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 you got this match over here. And so Alexa talks her down, keeping her from getting into a brawl with Cargill probably right then and there. And I want to say, like, they're making their entrance, and then they kind of cut away to show us Chelsea Green in the back talking to Alba Fire and um mentioning how she's looking forward to becoming a double champion, or I actually, because she's like the triple A mixed champion. I think she may
Yeah.
have said campion, like
Yeah.
Damian Priest does. And she says, she's looking forward to it when she regains her Women's United States Championship. And Meechin and BFAB interrupt the conversation, and Meechin mentions that Julia's already broken her record for the longest reigning champion. And I think I stopped at that point and I said to you, how long you've been the champion doesn't matter if you've defended it like hardly at all. And that was the case with Julia. So it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter if it's a
Don't
billion
count.
days when you've only wrestled one fucking match in all that time.
Yeah.
Um, and Meechin says, we already know how this match is going to go. And Chelsea says, no, I'm going to win and become the fourth Women's United States champion and then be a double
The first
champion.
and the fourth. Yeah.
And she says, newsflash, dummies. I'm going to be the greatest SmackDown champion they've ever seen. And Jade Cargill had walked up behind her, unbeknownst to her. And I believe she says, "No, no, keep running your mouth." And Chelsea turns around and she's like, "Oh, we gotta go."
Yeah, I think she started out with "You're so pretty."
Yeah, and I think Jade said, if you keep talking, she's
Mm,
gonna stomp a
she could,
hole through
yeah,
her
stump.
chest.
Yep.
And Chelsea's like, "That's no bueno. We're busy. We gotta go." And so she hightails it out of there, and BFAB and Meechin are standing there. And Jade says, "Get out the way," because it looked like they were all trying to go into the locker room at the same time. Um, and they yield to Jade, and Jade walks about halfway into the locker when BFAB says to Meechin that she doesn't understand why Jade thinks it's cool to walk around and talk like this. And Jade steps back out and says, "You got something to say? Or you said something?" And BFAB says, "Look, congratulations on the championship, but it's unnecessary for you to be acting like this." And Jade says she does what she wants when she wants. And if BFAB has a problem with that, she can step up and do something about it in the ring next week. And BFAB accepted Jade's challenge by saying, "Bet." And then Jade was like, "Bet." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
BFAB stepping up to the plate wants the big dog. Okay. So I'm actually kind of excited to see how that goes because um the last few times that we've seen BFAB, and admittedly we haven't seen her as much as I wish we did in the ring. But she looks good when she gets in there. And so if
Yes.
she's continuing to improve even while we're not seeing her on television, I think her and Jade could probably put on a decent match.
Yeah, I agree.
But that leads us into the second match that was sort of left hanging with Charlotte Flair, her entrance. Um, and we see, I want to say we come back and we see Nia Jax make her way to the ring. And the match is Charlotte Flair with Alexa Bliss in her corner versus Nia Jax. Um, and what did you think of
Well,
this match?
uh, I feel like Naya gets shit for her ability in the ring, especially before, like before she was let go and then came back. Um, they really gave her shit. They thought she was very dangerous. And I think that she's gotten much better just overall in the ring compared to her first run and now. Um, I while I feel like Nia Jax has gotten better, I feel like Charlotte hasn't. I feel like Charlotte's not as good as she used to be. And I'm not really sure. I don't know how to I don't know how to um I don't know how
Describe
to
it.
yeah, describe it, but I don't know how to process that. Because if I look at her in-ring work, but then look at essentially most of the people that have been in WWE for some years, I can't say that many of those people have done much improving. I feel as if WWE is kind of stagnant with the in-ring work in general. And so maybe that's what I'm seeing. Because there's a lot of stuff that Charlotte used to do that she doesn't do anymore. Now, maybe it's an age thing, right? However, she looks physically uh more fit than she's ever looked in her career. So I kind of have to take that into consideration as well. But yeah, I see her in the ring as of late, and it's kind of like her former self. Now I know it sounds like I'm gonna talk bad about the match, but I'm not. It actually turned out good. It was a solid match, and Charlotte and Nia looked decent together.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that the most important part of this match happened towards the end, or how it ended. I think this was more of a storyline type match, and a few things happened after this match took place. One, like one is one was the introduction of Lash Legend.
Hmm.
She shows up and attacks Alexa. I thought it was going to be um Cargill. I thought we were going to see Jay Cargill come out there and attack Alexa and make Charlotte lose the match because Charlotte would have been distracted, right?
Yeah.
But no, surprise, surprise, it was Slash Legend, and she came out there, attacked Alexa, and she did so on Nia Jax's behalf. So that is interesting. I think Lash is getting a call up, um, which I hope they use very well. I hope they don't squander her call up, and I hope that I don't see her 6 months to a year from now sitting on the sidelines or being let go or waiting for her contract to run out so that she can go to AEW or something. I'm hoping that if they're giving her a call up, they know what they want to do with her because there are lots of women in WWE. There are not so many women the size of Lash, the size of Nia, the size of Jade Cargill, the size of Bianca Belair. We should really make sure that we're using these people, especially if they're good in the ring. And none of the ladies that I just mentioned are ass. All of these women are amazing in the ring. None of them are cheeks. So let's use them to the
I
best
mean,
of our ability. Jade Cargill, since she's gone heel, it's like she let go of trying to be nice in the ring, and now even she's looking much
better.
better. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy that they got that off because she's pretty much has gone back to the heel or the personality that she had in AEW before she went face there. Like, right, because right, she kind of went face right before she left the company, and then she came to WWE as a face, and maybe that's why she did so. Maybe they wanted her to, give the face gimmick a try, but that just ain't Jade. Plus, I'm waiting for her to be confronted with Bianca Belair because I'm
Yeah.
sure whenever Bianca comes back, it's going down. And we get the matches that we wanted like a year ago.
Yeah.
um, but back to this match. Yeah, this was a good second match. Again, really good for the storyline and what happens there at the end. And later on, more happens with the Charlotte and Alexa that kind of tie into this match as well. But let's just say everybody's gunning for these two ladies. So if they're not friends, we'll see it. We will definitely see it soon enough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I felt like there was a story element to this, but I don't think that's all it was. I do
No.
think Flair and Jax put on a good match with one another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for one, Flair was able to do a Hurricane Rana to Jax, and it didn't look terrible. Remember the Naya Karana?
Yeah.
And I do think they actually have some chemistry in the ring with one another. But they did give us a decently lengthy match before Lash Legend showed up and picked up Alexa by her skull.
Yeah.
Actually, it was around
Stripper.
the neck, but then she bodied her like in a fashion that was reminiscent of how Brody Lee bodies Darby Allen. Just grabbing them
Yeah.
up by their head and then slinging their bodies around. Uh, yeah, Alexa usually comes out with a rag doll. Today she was the rag doll.
It was definitely the
Um
ragdoll.
and that in and of itself was fantastic, and it was just enough of a distraction to allow Nia to you know smash into Charlotte and drag her to the corner and annihilate her. And it was a good match. It really
Yeah.
was. And it was a great way to surprise us with Lash Legend again, who I was excited when Lash and her then tag team partner were showing up on SmackDown and getting in the face of the tag champs. And then that all sort of got reset with some of the layoffs and whatnot. So I'm glad to see that Lash is showing back up on SmackDown. And I feel like, from a story perspective, this is some of like the smack talk that Alexa and Charlotte have been talking is coming home to roost,
Yeah.
because they did basically tell Nia to find a friend, and she went and found a big, imposing, mean-looking friend.
Yeah.
Like, if her and Lash decide to go after the tag belts, that's a vicious tag team. But Lash just added to the roster. I mean, I already can see that being a hell of a match against the likes of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the current champion, and anyone else. So, like, Lash is impressive as
Yeah.
a powerhouse wrestler. So, I look forward to seeing what she can do since it does look like she's being called up.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
excited
good
about
stuff.
that. Hmm. I think after that we got Nick Aldis doing his announcement. He was gonna give us the first two matches in the Last Time Is Now tournament. The first one's gonna be
Cap.
main event Jey Uso versus The Miz. So we know how that's gonna turn out. And the second matchup is gonna be the megastar LA Knight, and you know what? He's gonna leave that last name for a surprise for some fucking reason.
Oh, come on. You tease.
Yeah, I
I
I
mean,
don't know why. Like, I guess you
come
have to
on.
tune in. Like, everybody watches your show already, my dude. Like, I'm not really sure what you're doing. Um, yeah. So I guess we got to wait for some
I don't know.
reason.
Maybe he can't say the name because if he does, then he'll appear.
Oh, hey, that'll be cool. I'd be into that. I'd be totally into that.
I
But
mean,
if he goes against LA Knight, we definitely know who's winning that. No
I don't
disrespect.
actually, but hey, could you imagine, like, aside from Jey Uso, who is his entrance is on another level with regards to crowd pop, LA Knight gets them popping really hard too, but so does
Say
um
his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so if you had that, that would be guaranteed going to blow the roof off, at least from a crowd like reaction standpoint.
Yeah.
And it would be a great showing, even if he loses, right? Because he lost against Randy Orton, but he got to show up on the main roster.
He
So
did.
I don't know. I don't have any insider information. I didn't read this on the internet. I thought, why wouldn't he say the name? And then I thought, oh, maybe because if you say his name, he appears. And that just happened right here, right now. I don't know anything. I don't have.
What do
So
you know?
if it turns out to be Joe Hendry, then I just happened to guess really well.
What do you
That's
know?
the truth.
Count
Um,
us.
and I don't want people to think, "Oh shit, it's LA Knight versus Joe Hendry." I'm speculating. I am fully speculating because
Thanks.
I
Now,
think that
now
would
you're
be
starting an
cool.
internet rumor. Now
Damn
it's
it.
gonna be on
I
TikTok.
know that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid is like I don't have like I'm not cage side seats or anything. I don't have the inside scoop or nothing. So it could be anybody. It could be like LA Knight
What's going on,
versus
guys?
you know,
Wrestle Josh here.
we saw our truth earlier that night. Maybe it's our truth. I don't know.
Oh,
So, but
maybe.
I think it would be really cool if it was LA Knight versus Joe Hendry. I think that would be outstanding, and I'd be thrilled. And even if Joe didn't win, it would be a fantastic showing for him on the main roster of the WWE, and I think that would be great. I
Yeah.
know it would thrill me as a fan. That's what I'm speaking to. This is me fantasy booking because we really don't know. We have no idea who, because Nick Aldis is a tease.
Well, you heard it here,
So,
guys. You heard it here first from Josh. Don't forget, he says it's going to be Joe Hendry. So
oh man,
again, Bible. He has the
Bible.
information, the documentation in his hand. It says Joe Hendry in all caps. Okay. So don't you guys
Yeah,
forget when it's not Joe Hendry, we know who to talk
who to
to.
blame? It just comes
Yes.
straight to me. Yes.
Yes. What have you done? After that, Kathy Kelly has a backstage interview with Nia Jax and Lash Legend where they just go on and on about their love for one another and how they're besties and they do each other's hair. And Lash is also the one and only bougie bully. Which I don't agree with because I feel like Jade Cargill is right now currently being also a bougie bully. So you guys should probably duke it out or make out. Pick one. Um,
And they got to have a special match for the Bougie Bully title.
yeah, that'd be a really cool title. Something tells me that it would be a very ethnic looking title. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, that's all I'm saying there. Don't you at me. Don't you add me right now. Um, yeah. So I mean that's pretty much the interactions that they had. Pretty much saying that they're here and they're here to stay. They did not make out. Sorry, guys. Um,
Damn it.
but Lash says that she and Naya are going to the very top, and tonight is only the beginning. So I feel like Lash is getting that call up, and if that's the case, I am frightened if they put Nia Jax and Lash Legends together as a tag team. That is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
And the tag team women's division should definitely be on notice. So
Yeah. Now
exciting.
they didn't make out, but as they pranced away together as new super best friends, you did point out that Lash and Nia
Don't.
have similar butt profiles. Like you noticed that they had similar cheek action.
Guys, I don't know what he's talking about. I did not at any point look at those ladies' bums. I don't know where he got that from. I do apologize for my co-host.
You looked directly at them and you were like, "Look, they're built very different, but they have similar sized butts."
Why did I say it like a scientist?
I don't know.
Interesting. I'll make
Maybe
a note.
because you were studying. More research required. Come here, ladies.
Skinty way. Skinty Hoozle. That led us to our third match of the night, which was Julia with Kiana James, or Who Gives a Shit, versus Chelsea Green with Alba Fire. And this is for the WWE Women's United States Championship. Now, guys, I don't know what Julia has done. I don't know what she did to somebody. Somebody back there is mad at my girl. I don't know what she did. But this is SmackDown. This is a 2 hour show, and I feel like they normally do 4 matches. We had 5 matches tonight because this match was, I think, maybe 3 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where the intros were longer than the match itself.
Guys, a roll up pin delivered from Chelsea to Julia, the current champion. Well, the current champion at the time. That's roll up pin. Done. Of course, she used her feet on the ropes. Chelsea did, uh, for leverage during the pin, but that was it. She won the match. I'm not sure what Julia has done. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't see Julia for a minute. Like, she might be fucking back at NXT. Like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's her attitude. Maybe it's conflict of interest. I don't know what it is, but she had a shit run. I think she defended the title maybe once or twice, I think. And then she comes in for another match. I should have known. I should have known when she was so hell bent on having this match that she was gonna fucking lose it. Holy cow. I don't know what this woman has done. Julia is great in the ring. Did she fuck up in a match? Did she do a Carmelo Hayes and this is why they're punishing her or something? Did we miss that? Because I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, what did you think of this nothing match?
Um, I mean, it's like you and I had the same notes because with something this short and swift, like there isn't a whole lot else to say. I
No.
basically noted that this was essentially a nothing match. It was over before it began, because I think Julia and Chelsea interacted once or twice before Kiana took a cheap shot at Chelsea, who was resting on the middle rope, and then Alba got involved. And that distracted Julia long enough for Chelsea to roll her up and pin her using, as you mentioned, her feet on the ropes for leverage. Somehow the ref entirely missed that.
Yeah.
Um, And all I had left to say was this brought Julia's lame duck title run to an ignominious end. And I don't know why Julia's title run was so poorly handled, but at least it's over now. I
Yeah.
have no
Wow.
idea what WWE are doing with Julia. Is she injured? Has she fallen out of favor? It's not going well for her so far. Because I think in the entirety of her title run, I think Chelsea had a rematch with her as her first defense. And then since then, she wrestled like, no, that's not true. I think she did have a successful defense against Chelsea. She had a rematch with Zelina Vega, who she had taken the belt off of. And I don't know, maybe they didn't have a plan for Julia other than to get the belt off Zelina because Zelina was stinking up the ring. And that not having a plan never came to fruition or something. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
forced to guess because this seems like such a poor usage of Julia. Um, and I think other than that, she's had a match against Meechin, and then she just now lost it to Chelsea. So, like, there were very few defenses. They didn't really do anything with Julia. More than anything, they've been showcasing, like, they've been piggybacking Julia as a reason to showcase Kiana James, who isn't really showing much of anything.
No.
So I have no idea what they're doing here. I don't think they have any idea. I think they're winging it, but I do feel like this was a correction. Like they're like, we don't have any idea what we're doing with Julia, so let's just take the title off of her because it's, we're hearing, maybe they're hearing from people like us that this is a lame duck title run. Are you going to book her in anything? Because her entire time, I don't think she was on a PLE defending that belt even once.
Yeah.
Not even like a Saturday night main event or anything. So we were like, "Oh shit, Julia's got a match." Maybe they heard that we thought that they're not utilizing her enough. No, instead they heard that this is a lame duck run and they're just stripping her of the belt, which is what this was. This was just a summary stripping of the belt that took place in the ring. And as much as anything, it creates this nice little, pairing of all ego Ethan Page from NXT, who's the US champion there, and sorry, North American champion, and he and Chelsea both are sharing the AAA mixed tag championship, and now Chelsea also is a double champ right next to all ego Ethan Page because she just literally won the US championship. And I don't say any of this to take anything away from Chelsea Green. I think she is undervalued and underutilized, and she absolutely deserves to have this belt. I'm more concerned about what the fuck is happening with Julia. Like
Yeah.
if I'm doing a comparison, like her and Stephanie Vaquer came up at about the same time, and Stephanie Vaquer's trajectory has been entirely a rocket strapped to her bouncing ass straight to the top, and Julia has been given a title with which they have done jack and shit, except for this.
Yeah.
So I'm really confused about this. And I don't know how to feel about this match on this evening because, on the one hand, on any other night, I'd be like, this is a lame duck ass match. But on the other hand, if this is them correcting a lame duck title run, should I hold that against them? So I'm
Yeah.
not sure how I feel about this. Only that, since you weren't doing anything with Julia that was worth a shit, I suppose this is a good thing if you're going to like figure it out. Otherwise, I don't know what to think. I don't know if like next week we're going to hear that Julia was released because
Yeah.
this
Seriously.
this in this 2025 WWE it could hit anybody. Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
There was all that controversy just recently over the way they let go of Ridge Holland. And that's not the only, controversial just trimming of the roster that they've done. So I don't know if we should be afraid for Julia or if they had no idea what to do with Julia. Maybe they're releasing her back into the wild. I don't know. I really am at a loss for where WWE was going with Julia and
Yeah.
how long they've let this wrestler languish. I mean, you put a belt on her, but it was like even more lame duck than the first world championship run for Io Sky, which was criticized for being entirely lame duck as well.
Yeah.
It was almost like they remembered who Io Sky was and started booking her the minute she lost the belt. So maybe
Yep.
they'll do the same for Julia. Io
Yeah.
bounced back from it. So That's my input and take on this. It was a really bizarre turn of events, though, because like my mood was like, oh, okay, maybe they're going to show us something with Julia now. She's been the champion, hasn't really done jack shit. Yeah, they showed us her ability to lose the championship in a blink of an eye, is what they showed us. So mm, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just be beating a dead horse talking about how I have no idea what the hell they're doing with Julia. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Wow. You you're not wrong. I really don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I was definitely shocked. Like legit shocked that that she lost the belt like that. But then with the way her run has been, should I have been shocked? Probably not. I'm
No, yeah,
just I'm I'm
exactly.
just I'm just surprised that I like it almost feels like they were tricking her. Like they were like, let's bring her into the main let's bring her to the main roster. Let's give her a belt as soon as she gets here, and then let's just shit on her career while she's got that belt. Like just disappear. Like she just got buried. There was no buzz for anything that she did. There was no title defense at
Mm-mm.
any of the PLEs that took place. The first PLE that happened right after she got the belt, we were like, well, you know, she just got the belt. They probably haven't had time to build any heat with anybody. And then they proceeded to build heat with absolutely no fucking body. Um, so yeah, I don't know what she did, but I mean, if they didn't have anything for her, then they could have just let her rock the cash bar at fucking in NXT. Like they didn't have to bring her here just to. They did the same thing with the girl that they put her with, and now I understand maybe why they put her with her. Like they were just like, let's shit on both these bitches. I don't know, but Kiana James has got a lackluster run. Uh, you should have to me at this point, Kiana James is like the female version of oh, what's his name? Apollo Crews. Like you know, if you're in a match with her, there's something horrible is about to happen. You're either if you're tag teamed with her or something, something's awful about to happen. Like I don't know. I'm shocked and I shouldn't be, but that was like a 3 minute long match, and I am a little bit concerned about what's going to happen to um, Julia at this point. But I'm sure WrestleMania has already put out a video about where Julia's going to be next.
Yeah, I'm really wondering because like I just don't know what where the fuse misfired. Like um she's an international talent out of like particularly promotions like Stardom, and I thought they were really going to do something with her, and now it seems like she's languishing, and I don't know the reasons why. Like is her English not good enough? I mean, is that why you stuck her with Kiana James? I don't know.
I think her
But I'm
English is
curious
just
to find
fine.
out. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating because I truly don't understand why WWE has done this with Julia. Like this
Yeah,
is a critical fumble, and I don't know if Julia's to blame or if there's a reason or if it's just that like, hey, we created these two new titles, but we really don't have any fucking idea what we're gonna do with any of them yet. So here we'll just rest it on Julia until we have a clue. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm forced to speculate, and um I feel like this match was less to bury Julia and more to just make this transaction happen and get it done.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's how this really felt. And I guess they hopefully have some idea of a direction they want to go with Chelsea at least. So we shall see. But I
yeah,
don't know. I don't really have anything more to add to that. So I'm hoping it's not bad for Julia, I guess is unless we find out that she did something that has earned that. So again, it's all up in the air.
yeah. Well, shortly after this, we got Solo Sikoa talking to the MFTs backstage, and he's pretty much giving them a pep talk, giving them their props. for last week, but it wasn't enough. He mentioned that Sami Zayn was still walking around with his little legs. The Wyatt Six have something that belongs to the family, which are the tag team belts. Dragunov has something that belongs to the family. I mean, he's got a lot of debt that he needs to collect, and the MFTs need to help him collect this. Then he hypes up the big man Talatonga. He wants him to go out there, make a statement, smash Ray Phoenix, and show everyone not to ever disrespect the family again. And Tyler screams, I think he fucking fucked up the speaker.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was,
like he blew out the boom mic when he did it.
yeah, yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. Um, and they all walk off. And when they do, the Wyatt Six appear behind them like they had been standing there the entire time. Um, uh, Dexter Loomis was like pushing past Rowan. I'm assuming to get himself a piece. Or I'm assuming to come out there and fumble. But then Eric Rowan held him back and told him that it's not the time. Now's not the time for you to go out there and do a half-ass move. Stay,
True facts. True
stand back,
facts.
Loomy. Stand back, Mr. Loom Loom.
And at this moment in time, I'm sitting there thinking, I really hope Tala makes that statement because, I mean, one, we've talked about how the MFTs need to improve their impressiveness game to be
Yeah,
taken seriously as a threat. Now, I
yeah.
do think they're on the right track. Tama Tonga
Oh
came
yeah.
back looking like he ate the previous version of himself, and
JC Mateo's looking good.
yeah, he's reached a power level over 9,000. It looks like so. And if you recall, in the previous week, like Talatonga was standing there, and Ray Phoenix jumped up on a box and slapped him straight in the face. So he's got an
Yeah.
ass whooping coming. So we'll see how that one turns out if Tala is able to make good.
My man did get up on the box and was like,
Yeah, just straight slap the taste out of his mouth.
"What you gonna do, Tyler?" That was him. Uh,
That was him.
it's like that, Tyler. After that, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are in the trainer's room. And there's a dude there that I'm assuming is some sort of medic. Who has apparently been there this entire time, but only just now asked if any of these ladies needed an ice pack. Um, and when they when they were like, "Yes, motherfucker," I mean, like you didn't stood there and watched us holding our necks and our
Uh,
backs and shit, and now
I
you
mean,
asking.
Alexa's got no neck bones left. You want to get her an ice pack at least, my dude?
Like for real, she can't feel her hands no more. Like her arms are just dead on her side, like just like fucking. And he's all, "Oh, ice pack. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get your ice pack."
Maybe a painkiller. I don't know.
So then he goes to get an ice pack, but I'm assuming that he got on the way to get an ice pack because he never comes back. But someone does hand them an ice pack. We just see a hand, and I'm like, that's a very small, feminine hand for that guy that was just there asking them if they needed an ice pack. Did he come back with a little extra? What the fuck?
Yeah, and your
But
hand recognition proves to be spot on.
yes, because it's not the guy. He apparently, like I said, got. I'm assuming Kyrie got him because that was Oscar, and she had time to put on a robe and a fucking face mask
Right.
and everything. So that bitch was just back there like a serial killer, waiting to take somebody out, just so she could walk up to those two ladies and spit her poison mist in both their faces. She had a spray. I'm not gonna talk about that. Hey, this is a PG-13 show,
She
folks.
she got them both
But
though.
she was able to get them both with the liquid, okay? And they're both like, "Ah!" And this was right after they had just been like talking, like Alexa was apologizing, and Charlotte's like, "No, don't you worry about it. Friends is the end, whatever." And then Oscar was like, "Blind bitch," and
Hey, Oscar may have done
all that.
Alexa a favor though.
She started dancing right after. Y'all know. Oscar ain't right. Oscar's like woo and just fucking getting out. Ain't no music playing, nothing. But she's like woo and just getting getting down. I guess she was dancing to their screams.
That's it. That's the music that's always in her head.
They were like, ah, oh my god, ah. And then Oscar's like, yeah, get it. Like she was gone to town. I spit
Mhm.
in your face and you blind bitches, Like she was getting down.
Gangster.
You bitches blind, you bitches blind, blind bitch one, blind bitch two. She was getting down. Just trust us. And they say that Oscar ran away with Kyrie. No, that bitch stopped and danced for a minute,
To
and then
this
she was,
day,
and then she was like, "I holla," and yeah, to this day, she's
she's
still
still
dancing.
dancing.
Next Friday, we're gonna cut to the Kabuki Warriors, and Oscar gonna be wherever she at. Talking woo, just getting down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Although I think she may have done Alexa a favor because that green mist must have had painkiller in it because Alexa forgot that neck injury real quick when she was like trying to deal with that spray in her face. She's rolling
Alexa was
around, hugging
like,
her knees,
Alexa
flopping
was like,
around.
man, I hope this medic guy comes back with some painkillers because my neck sure hurts. And Oscar was like, "Oh, I got you." Oscar was like, "Your neck won't hurt anymore." Yeah.
Yep,
Anyway, highly amusing.
very.
Uh, highly amusing. Oscar can dance all day long if she wants. I don't give a fuck. She's amazing.
Yep. And once again, it looks like Charlotte and Alexa talking all kinds of smack is coming home to roost because they were
Yeah.
like, oh, the Kabuki Warriors want some? Well, they can come get some. Well, guess what? They showed up and, and they came and got some. So,
Yeah. For real. So now they got Jade Cargo problems. Now they have Nia Jax problems, and now they have Lash Legend problems,
and Kabuki Warrior
and
problem.
Kabuki Warrior problems. Like, ladies, this is a bad time.
Did Charlotte and Alexa secretly like decide they want all the smoke? Are they the new prophets?
Maybe, but you know what I'm thinking? Maybe they're getting things ready for war games. And maybe they're getting the sides and whatnot together.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe that's what's happening. I don't know who's going to be with Charlotte and Alexa right now, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. And if the opposite side is Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Jade Cargill, we already know who
Woof.
wins.
Yeah, like that's frightening. That's hella frightening. But yeah, hopefully they give us something. I think SmackDown is sorely lacking in depth, in like character depth, and I think they're trying to get on the right path there. They're doing so, I feel, with the MFTs.
Yeah.
Um and I felt like they were doing the right things by the Wyatt Six, but then it just kind of became campy and cheesy and just not that fantastic. But maybe they can get it back. But
Well, sorry, go ahead.
no, go.
I was just going to say, I know a couple weeks ago there was an announcement that WWE was aware that SmackDown had received criticism for not being as good of a show comparatively to like Raw, and that they were doing some restructuring of creative. This story went something like Road Dogg will still be in charge, but they're shuffling around some other people, and he's not going to be the only one. And so I really do feel like you're right. I think they are trying to build to something. I feel like the reset button was pressed maybe 2-3 weeks ago on SmackDown, and they're trying to get some new storylines and character arcs cooking.
Yeah.
And we shall see.
And I'm seeing fantastic progress with MFTs. I thought it was brilliant to basically or essentially war paint their faces, but take the paint off of the Wyatt Six. Um, I thought that that was a pretty smart move, and so far, I think they're doing gangbusters for the MFTs. Now they can only do so much, right? These men have to get into the ring and dominate. They have to show out. They have to, or it just won't work. You could talk all the shit you want, but if you ain't doing nothing in the ring, it's not gonna work.
Well,
So
I agree with you, and your timing on that couldn't be
yeah,
better because it
yep, yep,
just
yep.
so happens that our fourth match of the night is Tala Tonga of the MFTs with the MFTs showing up to battle Ray Phoenix.
Sorta. The MFTs are kind of taken out early on
They are
in this match
by the
because
Motor Gun Machine Cities and who else?
Shinsuke
Shinsuke
Nakamura.
Nakamura, right?
Yeah. Uh the king of beatnik strong style. Um
Yeah,
and this match, you want me to go first or you want to?
go for it. Yeah, by
Okay.
all means.
Yeah, no, this match was exactly what it needed to be for Tala Tonga. He looked amazing. I have to give props real quick to Ray Phoenix for taking uh the L here and doing so amazingly. He had to sell these moves. Like Tala had to look dominant, and Ray Phoenix, he had to assist in this dominance. Like he had to. There are certain moves that just won't work if the opponent ain't with it. So I have to give props to Ray Phoenix for being with it. He sold the moves
Mhm.
perfectly, and Talatonga looked absolutely bone crushingly dominant. I mean, there were times where he essentially picked Ray Phoenix up and slammed him into the depths of hell. Like he slammed him so hard that he went to hell and bounced on his own, came back to the ring, was like shit. Amazing from Talatonga. Like absolutely amazing. This is exactly what we needed to see. And now I see it. Now I see it.
Now we see it. Yeah,
Oh damn. Now I see it.
indeed. Yeah, I pretty much have the exact same opinion. Like, are you sneaking in? Can you see my notes? Because I
No.
pretty much said this match had one primary purpose, which was to make Tala look dominant. And
Mm-hmm.
kudos to Phoenix for doing a great job selling it. Tala looked amazing here, probably the best we have seen him since making his debut.
Oh, for sure.
And this is the kind of dominant wrestler and the domination that the MFTs require. With Tamatonga also coming back and demolishing people, the MFT faction is starting to become a real credible threat. I cannot praise enough this showing of Talatonga here. And
Yeah.
the finish, which was basically a gigantic like release power bomb, followed by grabbing him by the throat while he's on his back and lifting him up like to the rafters and then slamming him back down. I wrote into the basement, but you're I liked better your description of him hitting hell so hard he bounced back.
Yeah.
But the choke slam looked phenomenal. I've been critical of Tala's choke slam. I'm like, it's the weakest choke slam I've seen on a big man. Not tonight. Tonight
Yeah.
he fucking drilled like Ray Phoenix through the floor, and it looked great. This did exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Talatonga is looking dominant. Tamatonga has been looking dominant. JC Mateo looks credible enough, and he has international cred. Although, what was it? Uh, what were they calling him before JC Mateo? Jeff Cobb.
Yes.
So people who are familiar with Jeff Cobb, he's got that cred. I could still see some more from JC, but he looks credible enough. Now the only wild card in the equation is if Tonga
Yeah.
Loa can look credible in the ring.
He's been
But
wrestling for quite some time, y'all. He's been doing this for I don't know if he ain't
If
We'll
he ain't there
see.
yet, will he ever be? Yeah, well, no, I think that's what you were heading to though,
Yeah,
right?
it was
Like
absolutely.
he isn't new, so like can this old dog learn some new tricks?
Yeah,
And I'm hoping he can because man, if everybody else hasn't stepped up to try and fill this spot in the way it needs to be filled, I don't know what to tell you. Because again, Tamatonga apparently was injured and used that time to like rebuild himself bionically. And Talatonga is finally looking good. I don't know if he needed to shake the nerves off or if somebody said, "Look, they're not made out of, glass. You can hit them and you can slam them. It's fine." Something, but
yeah,
it's clicking and the MFTs are looking dominant as hell. And somehow, and I think I said this tonight, the MFTs during their entrance are looking creepier and more threatening than the Wyatt Six do. And that's
yeah,
like their whole shtick, the Wyatt
yep.
Six. So, you know, by the time the
You ain't wrong.
MFTs face off against the Wyatt Six, it'll be the Wyatt Six that has to prove they're dominant enough for this spot.
Yep, yep,
So I'm really impressed with the direction the MFTs are going because I mean for a long time we said if they're building up the MFTs to eventually maybe do a bloodline thing, then these aren't credible enough threats to face off against the other members of the bloodline.
yeah,
Jimmy J, Roman, Sami Zayn. So now we're getting to that point and they're looking real good. Again, the only question mark is Tongaloa.
yeah,
Um, so hopefully he can do well enough, or maybe he'll surprise us and suddenly become amazing. I don't know, but I am impressed with what I'm seeing so far because Tala has made a turnaround because he was not impressing me with what he had shown me until tonight, which was
yeah.
really good. You could have, like, if you had said to me, "Hey, when Tamatonga comes back, you're going to be impressed as hell with him," I'd have been like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Lies. Uh, so it
Cap.
is possible that we could be surprised here. So I'm holding out hope for that because I would love to see it because Solo leading a dominant, mean, credible, threatening faction would be perfect. And
Yeah,
I'm here for it. And I think they're heading in the right direction.
I agree. I agree. I mean, they look amazing, and if they can do that with them, then I know that they can get the White Six back to where they were. I think that there's too much overexposure with them, and it was too much using the same campy camera work, the fast cutaways, the weird double voices and whatnot. Like in moderation, that's cool. More symbolism, less talk, that's cool. But when you start having them talk every time they get on the camera and it's all, "Ooh," it's like, man, come on. And I'm
Yeah,
happy for them, but also giving them a ride at Walt Disney kind of takes away from their threatening factor. I'm just saying.
true, true, true. Just to be clear about the details of the last part of this match, after Tolatonga demolishes Ray Phoenix, Solo gets into the ring and he wants, Tala to chokeslam Ray Phoenix again. Out comes Sami Zayn. I'm not sure what he's injured with, but it's not an injury that's affecting his ability to sprint to the ring because he sprints to the ring with a chair in his hands, and both Solo and Tala get out of the ring and end up walking back down the ramp. Solo, talking mad smack towards Sami Zayn while
Yeah.
Tolatonga's trying to keep Solo away from Sami Zayn. So we got a showing of Sami Zayn, but he didn't really have to do anything. I think the only thing he impacted that chair with was the top rope as he was swinging it towards them as they were leaving.
Yeah. That was it. But I'm assuming that they're gonna get him probably next week.
Yeah, so we shall see. I'm definitely curious to see where they're going with that. Um, but following that match, we do find out that next week on SmackDown, Jade Cargill will battle with BFAB. It's official. And they recap that the last time is now tournament will continue as Jay Uso battles The Miz and LA Knight collides with a surprise entrant. Why is it a surprise? The mystery. I don't know. It better be good though.
It better be
Um,
with the surprise business.
yeah. And did you want to speak to what happened next with Kathy Kelly?
I mean, I could, and I will. Uh, Kathy Kelly has a backstage interview with The Miz, uh, and she wants to address the payback that he got on Carmelo Hayes last week. But Miz corrects her and says that it's not a payback. It's perspective, a reminder of exactly what he's capable of. So he talks mad shit, hypes himself up. He essentially says, just like the Intercontinental Championship, he made it talk shows, he made it must see. Miz made Carmelo Hayes relevant, and he's not wrong. He did. He even got him over. Like people cheer now for Carmelo Hayes. Um, he also points out that he beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania, which should make their match inevitable. Um, but there's this farewell tournament that's getting in the way and opening the door to talents from NXT and outsiders like to try out for the WWE Performance Center. Miz says that there shouldn't be a tournament, especially finally when his final opponent is staring him in the face, which is, the Miz.
The Miz, yeah.
Um, the Miz. And he says he just reiterates that he's going to win the tournament, and the critics will cry, the internet will whine, uh, but the headlines will read: "The Miz beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania." He did say that. He did say it was going to
He
be
did say
the
that,
main
and I'm
event of
wondering if
WrestleMania.
he stumbled the line, but then corrected it. I think.
Yeah, I think he did. Uh, but we all know that it's not going to be WrestleMania. But he did. I think he was going back to the time where he had the match with John Cena at WrestleMania. Um, but the Miz says it's going to end John Cena's career. Because the Miz is awesome. I can't you
And he
hear it?
he shouted that so hard that when they cut back, like when he leaves and they cut back to Kathy Kelly, she's looking like her ears just got blown off. Like she looked
Yeah,
disgruntled, and she was like, "Well,
yeah.
okay,
She looked like a cat that just got yelled at.
thanks, Miss." And that's
I
what she
hate
did.
it. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with some of the stuff that the Miz said. But I don't think he's gonna be the guy that's gonna have or have the last match with John Cena. That's not epic enough. Uh, for WWE, it's just not epic enough. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I don't think it's gonna be the Miz. I think he might go on, like he might win the match that he has. Uh, Surprisingly, he might win that match because he does have a history with Cena, so that would, they might want to hype up the drama. But it depends. If they got it all planned out, then they, might not need to. But
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yep, we shall see. Um, Again, I imagine this tournament's going to be filled with some surprises.
Yeah,
As Nick Aldis has already shown us, there's going to be a surprise. Um, and I'm loath to speculate overly much on how big those surprises could be, because if I speculate like super big but still possible, and then that doesn't end up being what happens, then it's unnecessarily deflated to whatever it actually is.
yeah,
Like, what if we postulate that it could be Joe Hendry, and there's a lot of people that'll be deflated if it's not Joe Hendry, even though that's possible and likely. Like the dude's on NXT regularly, but what if it's
yeah,
Adam Copeland? Or I guess in WWE they could actually call him Edge. And
yeah,
if I put that out there and then that's not what happens, then anything else, any other surprise that they could come up with is going to not be as good somehow, or
yeah,
potentially not be as good. So I'm trying not to speculate too outlandishly on what it might be, because I don't want to set the expectation or the possibility, like if it's Chris Jericho or something, I
yeah,
don't want that then to not happen, and then it's like wah, wah, because that's
yeah,
not fair to whatever they do book. So I'm just hoping it's good, whatever it is. I'm hoping we're pleasantly surprised and it pulls some really cool banger matches.
Yep, me too. I mean, that's all we can really hope for. So I'm keeping an open mind to see who it's gonna be.
Mhm.
And whoever it's gonna be, I know that this is a monumental occasion, and once in a lifetime. So I'm excited to see where this ends.
Right? And for all we know, it could be like Omos, and LA Knight's like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah,
So we'll see. Like that would be pretty cool in and of itself since we don't see Omos hardly ever. I hope we actually do honestly get to see him as a surprise entrant or just an entrant into this tournament. That would be neat.
yeah,
I don't expect him to win because I don't imagine it would be compelling for it to be Omos versus John Cena, but it would be
yeah,
cool to give Omos a chance to wrestle on, with the company that he works for.
yeah.
So
I'm sorry. It's probably been a while, but who is Omos again?
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
I hear he wrestles in AAA from time to time.
yeah,
Um, but all of that wonderful speculation aside, and it is really cool to speculate about because this tournament has some neat potential, and I hope they capitalize on the possibilities as
for
well as they
sure.
can.
Yeah,
But moving on from that, we are brought to our main event that we heard about at the beginning of the show, and that is the American Nightmare and the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black. Now, weirdly, I don't was this a title match or was it just a match?
I think it was
Because I
just a
don't
match.
recall. Okay, so maybe they're setting up a new feud here. Because yeah, I don't think it was a title match. It's just a match.
Yeah.
So, um, what were your thoughts on this main event match?
Yeah. Um, I could have been happy as a clown with the main event being Talatanga and Ray Phoenix. I feel like that was high energy and really gave us what we were looking for. Um, I I guess I won't be a listener favorite when I say this, but I'm not too crazy about Aleister Black. It's kind of boring, especially here in WWE. I wasn't too crazy about him when he was in AEW, no disrespect. Not too crazy about him here. Uh, so, you know, he was okay. It was an okay match. But I'm getting a little bit over matches that are clearly Cody Rhodes' match to win. And this is one of those. I'm not saying that anybody did anything horrible. I'm not saying that there were any fuck ups. I'm not saying that they didn't work well together. They did. I'm saying that I am not that invested in Alistair. I'm not that impressed with him. This him being the Dark Lord of I don't know what is I feel like I've seen it somewhere. Um and how great it must feel for Zelina, who used to have a belt, to now do nothing but back up her guy. She's nothing but a handler now. Good on you. I bet you feel like you've moved on up. Um Yeah, so I'm not really that invested in him, and I wasn't invested in a match between him and Cody because I knew that Cody would most likely win, although that's not what technically happened. Um I was waiting for McIntyre to interrupt the entire time this match was happening. Um I kind of had the vibe or the feeling that if he wasn't going to show up, then Damian Priest would probably show up because he just seems to be Alistair's shadow. And they, for some reason, think those two should really keep their beef going. I just want Damian to get back into the run for the belt or something. Uh, Worth his time. I mean, go after Cody's belt, something. but I don't know. That's not the case. They ain't really doing that. But this match ended up being interrupted by I think first McIntyre. Yeah, Drew. Yeah,
Yep.
the first interruption was the Drew with the was the Drew.
Was the Drew,
It was the McIntyre
the
who
Scottish
hits
Drew Lord.
who hits the referee with the claymore. And then he's shaking the shit out of the shaking the shit out of the ref like a little rag doll.
Yeah, he was giving that ref what for. Like, you've got it out for against me. I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, that was an interesting accent. Um, if I were a rich man, yeah. Okay. Anyway, anyway, uh, as my partner Raptavia said, uh, yes, he did indeed go off on the ref, just like shaking him by the collar, just like giving him what for after he gave him the claymore. Like the dude's dead now. He doesn't feel you shaking him by the collar at this point. You can, shaking ref syndrome all day long. He's gone already. Uh, but then, but then Rhodes chimes in and starts attacking Drew, and Cody Rhodes really, really goes in on Drew. like you can feel that there is some disdain there. Not really, you know what I mean? But he really goes in on Drew. Um, and then after that, Damian Priest comes out. So this match was interrupted by both uh Drew and Damian. And
Yeah.
Damian comes in and he gets a hold of Alistair. Uh Cody is going after Drew. Like it's just an all out brawl in the ring.
Yeah.
So naturally this becomes a no contest because, several interferences. But I do feel a tag team match in the future.
Yeah, and just to kind of clarify a little bit,
Yeah.
Cody did go after Drew, but in short order, Drew and Alistair double teamed Cody, and that's what preceded Priest coming to the ring to get involved.
Yeah. So, uh not a bad match. Again, I think this was more for progression storyline or to progress it to get it going. And I mean, it wasn't bad. It ended up being a pretty entertaining match, despite Aleister Black. Everybody else in that ring, I really liked. Hell, I even liked the referee that got Claymore, got Claymored.
Not
Um,
Beaver Cleaver.
yeah, Beaver Cleaver. Um, but I mean, I kind of feel like the star of the show, the star of the channel, was the match between Talatonga and Penta, and I'm sorry, Ray Phoenix, not Penta. And yeah, well done. I mean, just well, I can't sing the praises of Talatonga enough because that was a huge difference from the last time we saw him in the ring.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yep, I agree. My thoughts on this match is I wasn't sure what to think about this new feud starting with Alistair and Cody. And I agree with you. They only put on kind of an all right match until Drew Claymored the referee. And I'm trying to give Alistair the benefit of the doubt because he put on a banger of a match, probably his best showing the previous week against Ilya Dragunov.
True.
But I didn't see that same intensity or chemistry between him and Cody. This felt again like Cody has made a glass lately. Like his match at Saturday Night's main event and this match here are all very like safe and like heavily scripted. Like nothing
Yeah.
seems to come off the rails in the match, like
Yeah, he's gone
between
back
him
to
and
that.
Alistair. And it isn't until Drew Claymore is the referee that it sort of comes unhinged. And then, Priest makes his way in and fights off both of them. And just as it looks like, I think, like, Priest gets Alistair outside the ring, and it looks like Drew's going to attack him. But I think Cody regains consciousness at that point and peels Drew McIntyre off of Damian Priest, who then tries to go after Black, and then Zelina Vega dives on him, and he like just discards her like trash over the side of the barricade, and then turns around and gets his eye clawed out by like Alistair, basically attacking the burnt eyeball again. And then
Not the burnt eyeball.
him and Zelina flee like scurrying cockroaches after that. And then I want to say what Nick Aldis shows up and starts, speaking to how he's had enough of Drew McIntyre's antics. Like it was something like, I've given you an inch and you've taken a mile, but with this attack on this referee, I'm suspending you indefinitely. And then Drew like sprints up the entrance ramp, and we cut to credits as Drew is sitting there like arguing with Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis is just not having it. So that just added to my not sure what to make of this, because my impression after both Drew and Priest attacked their respective like feudie was that okay, so clearly Drew's not done with Cody and Priest is not done with Alistair. But if Drew is getting indefinitely suspended, then, well, I guess they're done whether Drew likes it or not, unless the
No, I,
storyline changes and next
I,
week
I
Drew's
think
back.
I think we're gonna get the same thing that we got the last time he got suspended. Cody's gonna go and ask Cody or Sammy or whoever is gonna go on his behalf and ask for him to not be suspended so that he can have a match with him.
Yeah, you're probably right, because, I mean, we've seen that actually play out the exact same way before.
Yep.
But I'm not sure what to make of it. Like, either the suspension is bullshit or they actually play it. All of this being in the kayfabe, of course, they
Yeah.
actually treat it like a suspension. In which case, Cody and Drew are not going to meet again for at least a minute. And it still looks like Priest and Black aren't done with each other. So I don't know. This just was all over the place, and
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like as main event matches go, I was much more impressed with matches that happened earlier in the night. Talatonga's was standout, and Ilya Dragunov still like is locking it down. So it's kind of a bad situation when the match involving the champion is not that interesting in and of itself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't think this was the match of the night, and I don't even think it was that great of a main event. But maybe it's a transitional one. But that doesn't change the fact that it wasn't as compelling as some of the matches that came before it in the night.
Yeah. I agree.
So with that all said, and that being how SmackDown comes off the air, it's review time. And how would you rate this episode of SmackDown? Or
I'm
if you
gonna
like, I can go first.
I'm gonna tell you that I was going to give this episode like a 7.5, somewhere around there. But the match between Talatonga and Ray Phoenix is worth at least another half point, like an extra half point, because it was such a difference, a noticeable difference from the last time we saw Talatonga in a match. Um, and I know first impressions are everything, but this match was so impressive that I I don't even remember another match. This was his first match. This was it. So I'm gonna go with an 8. 8 Nicky Nubs.
Nice, nice. So for you, this might as well be the re-debut of Talatonga. Like this is his
Yeah.
first time he's actually showing himself
I
in
mean,
WWE.
think
I could see
about it.
that.
Yeah, I definitely think that's it.
Nice, nice. All right, so for you, it's 8 Nick Nubs top tier.
Yeah.
All right. For my review, I would say this was a solid enough SmackDown with an excellent showing from each match. Save for the one with Julia and Chelsea Green, which just
Yeah.
seemed to happen for the purpose of stripping the belt off Julia, possibly to end, the complaints and the questions about how lame a title run that was. However, that one negative aside, there were really good matches with Dragunov and Tala Tonga having standout performances, and the pleasant and cool surprise of Lash joining SmackDown. So I can overlook the correction match. Um, on balance, I'm with you. I was leaning towards a 7.5, particularly because I wasn't sure how I wanted to weight Julia and the okay main event.
Yeah,
But I agree with you that with Ilya Dragunov having shown up and is taking the U.S. title on a hell of a run so
yeah,
far, and with the outstanding performance from Talatonga, um, and the wonderful surprise of Lash Legend joining, hopefully joining the roster, unless she's just being invited briefly to, like you pointed out, with War Games coming up. I hope she's being pulled up to the main roster because they can only tease that from her so many times,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say that that bumps it up enough to where I'm pretty much in the same camp as you. That pushed it. The outstanding showing from Talatonga and Dragunov and the surprise of Lash Legend pushes it into top tier for me. Um, However, that said, I do think there's still a lot of room for SmackDown to continue to grow. This was a good episode.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
SmackDown
Yeah,
is definitely getting better and moving some things into place that look very promising. So I'm hoping that that trend will continue as we head into the future for SmackDown. I definitely think they've pulled out of the tailspin where SmackDown was like just the dog shit show and Raw was the only thing that was worth looking at.
yeah.
So that's really good to see. And so I'm gonna give props for potential because I feel like you're moving things into place that are going to be very cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, this episode gets into top tier
Yeah.
from me, and I'm hoping to continue to see good things from SmackDown going forward.
Agreed.
So I that has been our review of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, and I want to thank every one of our listeners who have joined us for this episode, and I invite you to join us for our next episode, which should be our coverage of Monday Night Raw this next week. Until then, I don't think there's a lot left for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest WWE news and shows. You can find us on all major podcast platforms as well as our YouTube channel where we upload all of our episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and X for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.